Hello, sweet team. Welcome back to my channel. This is Sweet Ajele, and I am back with another recipe. Have you ever tried cassava porridge? Well, it may just become your new favorite. Super delicious and so easy to put together. Let's get started. In a pan, we're going to go ahead and add in some palm oil and allow it heat up. You may use any oil of your choice, but palm oil is preferred. To that, add in some chopped onions, give it a stir, and allow it cook for about 5 minutes or until it is translucent. We'll then go ahead and add in some chopped up habanero pepper and some tomato sauce. I'm using my homemade tomato sauce. You may use fresh tomatoes if you prefer. Go ahead and rinse out your bowl, add that water, and I'm also going to go ahead and add in some shrimp powder. You may use beef, mushroom, whichever one works for you, okay? If you're allergic to shrimp, we have fish. I have all of that, and I have a recipe on it on my channel, so I'll leave that link. We'll stir, cover, bring it to a boil, and then cook on medium heat for about 10 minutes. While that is going on, I'm going to go ahead and peel and cut my cassava. Okay, you may cut it any size you want, but we have bite-sized pieces that we like to cut our yam porridge into. My goodness, this recipe, I was just sitting there, I had this cassava, I'm like, I'm craving for porridge, but I don't have yam. So let me try this because I've never ever seen it done before, and boy oh boy, it was so amazing. Now, if it wasn't for social media, I did not know that they had cassava that was poisonous. Ever since I've been posting cassava, people ask that question. I grew up in a country where we didn't have that, so we've always cooked cassava without fermenting it. If you live in an area that you need to ferment your cassava before enjoying it, please do. Otherwise, research to find out which ones are good to enjoy immediately, because trust me, fresh cassava like this cannot be compared to anything. At times, it's even better than yams, okay? This is so sweet and delicious. We Ghanaians, we do not have to ferment it before enjoying it. Although, when we're using it to make our agbelima, we have to ferment it because we want that fermented flavor, but not because it's poisonous, okay? So please do what is safe where you are. Once I'm done peeling it, I'll cut it into bite-sized pieces just as you see in the video, and then I'll transfer it into a bowl. I'll give it a couple of washes, and then I'll set it aside for when we are ready to add it to our sauce. Now back to check on our stew. It's looking good. It is now time to add in some snails, some stockfish, and Wele. Yes, I'm doing things to porridge that have not been done before. Now, in case you're wondering about the snails, they are already pre-cooked. My auntie cooks it before sending it to me, unless I want it fresh, okay? And the stockfish, I soaked it for just about 5 minutes because it's not that hard, and the Wele nice and soft, so it'll all come together beautifully. Give everything a stir, cover, and allow it to continue simmering for about 8 minutes. And we are back. Our stew is looking good. I'll season it with some all-purpose seasoning. Give it a good stir, and then I'll go ahead and add in my cassava and enough water to cover the cassava. I'll stir everything together, taste for salt, adjust if needed, and then I'll cover it, allow it to cook until our cassava is nice and tender. And we are back. Oh my goodness, my sweets. I wish y'all were here to smell how divine this smells in this house. Oh my gosh. I'll give it a stir and then I'll check if my cassava is nice and tender, and it is. Okay, you can even enjoy it right now, but I want this to literally melt in your mouth. So I'm going to go ahead and mash some of the cassava into the sauce. A comment was left under my yam porridge recipe that we do not need to mash this. What? Please do not knock something until you try it. We mash it so that it'll be nice and creamy and super delicious. You can leave it to be watery or loose or light if you like, but mashing it with your ato or pesto, okay, brings an amazing creaminess to this recipe that you will not regret. But skip it if you do not want to. But I will mash it beautifully until it is to my preference. But mind you, we do leave some chunky, so everything is not like a kids porridge. This is a nice chunky porridge that the entire family would enjoy. I'll add a little bit of water, stir everything together, and allow it to simmer for an additional 10 minutes. And we are back. Oh my gosh. I'm going to add in some kale, okay? Kales taste like meat. So for those of you vegetarians that want to skip all the meaty part of this recipe, do add kale and you would love it. If you don't have kale, you may use spinach or any green leafy vegetable of your choice. Once I've added in my kale, I'll give everything a stir and I'll allow it to simmer for about 4 minutes. This is done, okay? But I just want it to simmer for just a little bit. And when I come back, I'm going to add in some sliced onions. Give it a stir, turn your fire off. Our potompoto or mpotompoto or porridge is ready. Others say it's pottage. In Ghana, we say porridge. However you call it where you're from, it is ready and time for us to serve and enjoy. Oh my gosh. Please, if you have safe cassava where you are, try this recipe. I promise you would come back to testify. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and are inspired to try the recipe. Until I see you in the next one, stay safe, keep loving each other, and remember that the love of God and family is life's greatest blessing. And guys, ke unamini ochemi sweet mahabotu. Bye y'all.
Continental food, madam. Ow, food, madam. International food captain. Who show you how to